Hello everybody, welcome to Solving Sudoku. Remember to grab the book, it's great. Yep, we're going to do puzzle number 4, and we're just going through the book. Make sure to grab it because it's excellent. You do the puzzle first. If you get stuck, then you can watch this and see how we get out of it. Puzzle number 4. Good. So, of course, the first thing I like to do when going through a puzzle is just seeing if I can solve anything right off the bat. Oh, but first, let's go through our rules, shall we? So, of course, rule number 1 is no dupes in columns, rows, or big boxes. It's just 1 through 9 over and over again. Number 2, if a number is restricted to a certain row or column in a big box, it can be erased from the same rows or columns in the other big boxes. So, for instance, if 2 can only be here and here, it can't be anywhere here because it's all solved, and it can't be here because of this 2. So if it can only be here and here, then we know it has to be on the left here, so it can't be on the left here or here. Now this one's obvious because it's already solved, but this one, we know this can't be a 2. Just by looking at this, 2 cannot be here, it must be here, therefore it cannot be here. 2 has to be in the middle here somewhere because of these 2's here. So that's rule number 2. Rule number 3, if a number can only be in one cell in a row, a column, or a big box, then it goes there. So if we were looking, let's say, at this big box, right? And we've got 3 at the top, so 3 can't go there. We've got 3 at the bottom, so it can't go there. This is the only place 3 can go in this entire big box. Therefore, it is 3, right? That's the only spot available to it. It has to go there because we need 1 through 9. Number 4, if only one cell is unsolved in a row or a column or a big box, then put in the missing number. So for instance, if this is 3, and let's pretend that we know this is 2, then this has to be 8 because we know 3 and 2. So we have solved everything except this little cell right here in this big box. So all we got to do is figure out what number is missing, and that's the number that goes there, right? So if this is 2, then this is 8. If this is 2, then this is 8 because we know this is 3, so... Good. Number 5, after all numbers are written in, if a cell only has one choice, then that's the answer. So let's pretend we were looking at this and we had the 3 solved, and 2 could go here or here, but 8 could only go here. Then that puts a 2 by itself right here. Therefore, we know this is 2 because we've written in all the numbers. So we've got 3 solved, and we've got 2 and 2, 8. Therefore, this is 2. Now, there's another way to look at it too. This is the only cell with an 8 in it, right? If this is 2, 8, and this is 2, we can say this is 8 because this is the only place 8 can go because of rule number 3. But, yeah, not to get too confusing. So after all numbers are written in, if you have a cell that only has one number in it, that's the answer. Number 6, if 2 cells in a row, a column, or a big box only have the same 2 choices, then they can be erased in that row, column, or big box. So that's 2 options, 2 cells. So, for instance, we know this is going to be 3. So if this is 2, 8, and this is 2, 8, then 2, 8 is going to end up in these 2. It can't be anywhere else. Now, we already know that because everything else is solved, but that doesn't have to be the case. If this could be 2, 8, and this could be 2, 8, and that was the only 2 numbers written in both of these, then we could erase the 2 8s out of these. Because if this is 2, this is 8. If this is 8, this is 2. That's all they can be. 2, 8 is solved. We just don't know exactly where. And we'll come across examples of that, I hope, during the puzzle. So we'll be able to look at those. And then number 7, if only 2 cells in a row, a column, or a big box have the same 2 numbers, you can erase the other numbers in those 2 cells. So this is the opposite of 6. So let's pretend that we have 328. That's not. Let's go to this one. Let's pretend that we have 237, 237, and then 174, 174. 2 and 3 are only over here. These are the only 2 cells that 2 or 3 are in. They're not over here at all. Therefore, we can erase these 7s. We have to have a 2 in here somewhere, and we have to have a 3 in here somewhere. So if this is 2 and 3 and 7, and this is 2 and 3 and 7, and there's no 2 3s over here, we can get rid of those 7s, because 2 and 3 have to be here. These are the only 2 places they're written. We don't know which one is going to go in which, but they have to be here. These are the only choices for 2 and 3. Okay. Written examples are going to be clearer, so we'll move on to that. All right, good. But those are our 7 rules. So, first thing, like I said, I like to just get rid of the obvious answers. So let's just start with 1 for this one. Obviously, when we're working on this big box, the only big boxes that can help us, there's always 4. The only 4 that can help us are these 2 and these 2. Diagonal does not help us at all. So, for this big box, 1s can't be here, and they can't be here. That just leaves these 2. This way, what help do we get? 1 can't be across the bottom, so unfortunately, we're left with these 2. That is not an easy solve. We're going to skip that. So let's go down to this one. 1 can't be here. It can't be here. It can't be across the top, so that leaves these 2. We're not getting any help from here with 1s, so we can't solve 1s. So we're going to skip that. On to here. 1s can't be across the bottom. That leaves these 3. No luck. 1s can't be across the bottom or the middle. That leaves those 2. No luck. 1s can't be across the top. That leaves those 6. Wow, that's a lot. So no luck with 1s. How about 2s? 2s, wow, there's not a lot of 2 help. So let's start with this one because we already kind of talked about this. 2s cannot be here, therefore they must be here. Now we can't solve this because we only have 2. 2 can't be across the bottom. So there's no help from here with 2s. But 2s can be here. That means they can't be on the left here because they're only on the left here. So no 2s on the left, no 2s on the right. That leaves those 3 there. So no help for 2s at all. 2s can't be across the bottom. That leaves those 6. Wow, 2 is rough. But over here we have kind of the same thing. 2s can't be down the left and they can't be across the top. So it's like an upside down L. These 2 are the only 2 possibilities. So we know 2s have to be on the right in this big box. Therefore, they can't be on the right in these 2 big boxes. So no 2s here, no 2s here, only 2s down the middle. But it doesn't solve us for it. So, oh well. All right, on to 3s. We'll start here, obvious. No 3s across the top, no 3s across the bottom. These 2 are already solved, so that has to be 3. So that's cool. There's our first solved number. Good. How about up this way? No 3s across the top, no 3s up the middle, so that's a giant T. That leaves these 4. Doesn't solve it, so we can just move on. Over here, no 3s up the left, up the right. No 3s across the top. That just leaves these 2. Now, that's cool. 3s have to be in the middle in this big box for this big column. Therefore, they cannot be in the middle in this big box or this one. This one is obvious. We've already solved it, but no 3s across the top because of this one. No 3s across the middle because of these 2. So that just leaves these 2. Now, unfortunately, we can't solve it. We still have 2. But it's good to remember, if 3s can only be there, they can't be here. All right. How about down here? No threes there. That only leaves 2 threes there. Ooh, now that's cool. Wait a minute. Look. Threes cannot be on the right. And they can't be in the middle because it's already solved. So they can only be on the left. So now, since we know threes can only be on the left here, they can't be on the left up here. They can't be on the right up here. And they can't be across the top up here because of that 3 over there. Therefore, we know that's 3. So that's cool. Threes cannot be on the left because of this 3. They cannot be in the middle because of these are solved. They can only be on the left. Therefore, they cannot be on the left on this one. No threes here. This 3 is solved. No threes here. This 3 is solved. No threes across the top. That just leaves these 2. 8 is already solved. Therefore, this has to be 3. That's cool. Okay, good. So we got another 3 out of that. That's good. How about over here? Nothing down the middle. That leaves all 6 of these. That's no help. That's crazy. Over here, nothing on the left, nothing on the right. So that leaves the bottom 2. That's no help. Okay, so we're kind of done with 3s. On to 4s. No 4s across the top, no 4s down. So it's like a giant T. So these 4 are left. This one is already solved. So 4s can go in these 3 boxes, right? So that doesn't solve it. No luck there. No 4s down the middle. That leaves those 5 boxes. That's not good. No 4s across the top or down the left. Therefore, that leaves these 4. One's already solved, so these 3 can be 4s. No luck with that. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get to solve 4s at all. We can go across here. Nothing across the top. That leaves those 5. There's no help down here. Just these 4 are all 4s. No help across the top. Good. Okay. So 5s. What do we got for 5s? Well, not a lot of help. There are 3 5s that I can see. So nothing down the left, nothing across the bottom. That leaves these 4. So we can't solve that. How about the bottom one? Nothing down the left, nothing across the bottom. That leaves these 4. But these 2 are solved, so it just leaves these 2. So we know if they have to be in the middle in this big box going this way, then they can't be in the middle in these 2 boxes. Now, obviously, we know that because it's on the bottom here. But if it can't be on the middle here and it can't be on the bottom here, that just leaves these 2. Now, unfortunately, that doesn't solve it, but that's cool. We narrowed 5 down pretty good there, so that's good. What about up here? Nothing across the bottom, nothing up the middle. It's like an upside down T. So that leaves these 4. This 3 is already solved, so it just leaves these 3. We can't solve it. Yeah, okay. Same for here. Nothing across the bottom, nothing up the middle. So these 4, upside down T. How about 6s? All right, so 6s. Let's start here. Nothing down the left, nothing down the middle, and nothing across the bottom. So that leaves these 2. But 2 is already solved, which means that is 6. So that's awesome. There we go. That's cool. We got one. Okay. How about this box? Nothing across the bottom, nothing across the middle, nothing on the right. So that leaves these 2. 9 is already solved. Therefore, that is 6. Awesome. Okay. Wow. So the 6s across the bottom are all done. How about this guy? Nothing across the top, nothing across the bottom, nothing on the left. So that leaves these 2. Now, obviously, they can only be in the middle here. Can't be in the middle here, can't be in the middle here. Totally obvious because we've already solved those 6s, but these are the only 2 choices. So we can't really solve that. But how about this guy? Nothing on the left, nothing on the right, and nothing across the middle. That leaves these 2. But the 1 is already solved. Therefore, this has to be 6. That's awesome. Okay. How about this guy? Nothing across the top, nothing across the middle, nothing on the left, so that leaves these 2, but this one's already solved, therefore 6 has to be here. Wow, we should look at this one again because we just solved a lot of 6s. So nothing on the left, nothing on the right, nothing on the top, nothing on the bottom. That just leaves this guy in the middle. Awesome. We solved all the 6s. And just one thing to say out loud. You're going to have 9 of each number, obviously. We're going to have 9 6s in this puzzle. If we solve 8 of the 9 6s, we're guaranteed to solve the 9th one. Because we know these 2 are solved and these 2 are solved. Every box that feeds into this one is solved. Every big box. Therefore, we can solve this big box. Okay, good. 6s, that was great. Wow. Okay, on to 7s. So we only have 2 7s, so that's a little bit rough. We can see here, nothing across the top, nothing up the middle, so it's like a T. That leaves these 4 as possibilities. But this 3 is already solved, so just these 3. So 3 7s, we can't solve it. Nothing across the top, nothing down the middle, so that's another T. That leaves those 4. Yeah, 7's not looking good. We don't even need to go much further through those. 8s. Only 2 8s again. Wow. So going this way, tons of 8s left, tons of 8s left. Down here, tons of 8s, tons of 8s. No help for 8s here. But let's go this way since this is the one we've got the most of. Nothing on the right, nothing in the middle. That just leaves these 3 as possibilities. So we can't solve 8s at all. How about 9s? Okay, so we'll start down here. Nothing across the top, nothing across the middle, nothing down the middle. So that leaves these 2. So no luck there. Let's move on to this one here. Nothing across the middle, nothing down the middle. So that's a giant plus sign. So that leaves the 4 corners. Now, 2 of these 4 corners are already solved. Therefore, these 2 corners are the only 2 possibilities. Obviously, these 2 corners are on the right. Therefore, we cannot have a 9 on the right up here or on the right down here because these have to be on the right. So no 9s here, no 9s here, nothing across the top, nothing across the middle. That means this has to be 9. So we'll just look at that one more time real quick. No 9s across the middle, no 9s down the middle. That leaves the 4 corners because that's a giant plus sign. This could be a 9, this could be a 9, this could be a 9, this could be a 9. But these 2 are already solved, so they can't be 9s. So that means this can be a 9 and this can be a 9. That's it. 9 has to be on the right in this big box. Therefore, it cannot be on the right in this box or this box. 9 is basically solved in this column. It's in one of these 2 boxes, and that's that. Can't be here. Can't be here, obviously, because that one's already solved. But it can't be here, because if it's here, there will be nowhere for 9 to go in here. It'll ruin the puzzle. Good. Okay, so that's cool. We got a 9. All right, good. How about here? Nothing on the left, nothing in the middle, nothing on the bottom. That leaves these 2, so no luck there. Obviously, these 2 are on the right, so it can't be on the right here, and it can't be on the right here. We already know that because these 2 are solved, but still cool. This one, nothing across the bottom, nothing up the middle. That's an upside down T, so these 4 are possibilities for 9, so no luck there. Now this one, no 9s on the left, across the middle, no 9s up the middle. That means they can only be in the 4 corners because this is a big plus sign again. But 2 of the 4 corners are already solved. Therefore, 9 has to be in these 2, which is on the left only. So, because it has to be on the left here, it cannot be on the left here or here. This one's obvious because it's already solved, but this one's not. So no 9s on the left, no 9s up the middle, no 9s on the bottom. That still leaves these 2. So unfortunately, we can't solve it, but pretty cool. We got pretty far with that, so that's good. All right, good. We went through and put in all the numbers that we could solve easily. So now I'm just going to move on to the writing in of the small numbers. So here we go. We'll start with 1s, of course. So Let's start here. No one's on the right, no one's down the middle. That just leaves these two. No one's across the top, sorry. So obviously one can't be here. We already knew that because it was solved. But ones can be here and here. So there's two options for ones, okay? So that's not too bad, I guess. How about this guy over here? Oh, this guy's going to be kind of bad. So no one's across the top, and that's the only help we get. So these four could all be one. So I'm going to write ones in all of them. There we go. Okay. How about this guy up here? No ones across the bottom, no ones across the middle. That just leaves the top row. This one is solved, so just these two. I'm not getting any help from these two boxes, so that's where ones can go there. All right, we've done the bottom big row, we've done the middle big row. How about up here? No one's on the right, no one's up the middle, no one's across the bottom. That leaves these two. Okay, and then how about over here? No one's across the bottom. That's all the help we get. So these three can be ones. So one's not too bad. That's all right. That's looking okay. How about twos? Let's look at the twos here. Boy, twos aren't looking too great, are they? So let's just go here. No twos on the left. And I'm going to cheat and jump ahead. Remember, no twos on the left here, so they have to be on the right. So they can't be on the right here. In fact, I'm going to write this one first. No twos across the top, no twos down the left. That's an upside down L, so that just leaves these four as possibilities. These two are already solved. Therefore, twos can only be here. Now, they have to be on the right. These cannot be twos because of this one. Because they have to be on the right, they cannot be on the right here. If this was a 2, we would have to erase these 2's, and 2 couldn't go anywhere in here, and we would know we messed up this puzzle. You must have 1 through 9 in this big box. That's rule number 1. We wrote no dupes, which is the opposite, right? But that also equals 1 of every number. There's 9 boxes. We need 1 of every number. So no 2's on the right. So no 2's on the left, no 2's on the right. That just leaves 2's in the middle. And we're not getting any help from these two, so that's all right. All right, so 2, 2, 2. How about this guy? Oh, this is going to be terrible. No 2 help from here. This says no 2's across the bottom. Dang it. No 2's across the bottom. No 2 help from here, no 2 help from here. So all 5 of these could be 2's. I think this is the worst one we've written so far. Good. I threw my lid somewhere. I kind of need it. There it is. I got it. Good. Okay. So that's kind of rough. How about this one? No 2's across the bottom and no 2's up the left. So it's like a backwards L. So that leaves these 4 as possibilities. These 2 are already solved. So 2 can only be here. And of course you notice, hey, 2's are only on the left. Therefore they cannot be on the left here or here. This one's obvious because it's already solved, but this one is not. No 2's on the left, no 2's on the right, only 2's up the middle. Now we only get help from these 2. We're not getting any help out of here, so all of those can be 2's. I'm going to show you something that is skipping ahead a little bit. We may end up writing this rule in the game, but we're not going to do this right now. But I want to point it out to you. We know, well, let's write it in, sorry. Let's do this one. No help from 2's from any of these. Therefore, 2 can go here and it can go here. So, this is probably going to end up being rule number 8, but I want to point it out right now. We've been talking about if 2's can only be on the right, then they can't be in the right in the other places. This also works with 2 of the rows and columns inside big boxes. If you will notice in this big row, 2 can only be on the top and the bottom here, and 2 can only be on the top and the bottom here. Therefore, it must be in the middle here. So we already know this is 2. I'm not going to change that yet because I want to see more of that rule before we really get into it. but I want you to see it just for right now since it's so obvious and glaring. If 2 cannot be in the middle, I'm going to say it the opposite of the way I said it last time. If 2 cannot be in the middle in this big box, and it cannot be in the middle in this big box, then it has to be in the middle in this big box. Now, I don't like looking for cannot be. I like looking for how it is. So I normally say, hey, 2 can only be on the top and the bottom here, and it can only be on the top and the bottom here. Therefore, it has to be in the middle here. So, technically, we could erase these 2 2s because they're already accounted for here, and that would be 2. But we're not going to do that right now. That's just an introduction to what's probably going to be rule number 8. And we may end up doing that in this puzzle, but I'll bet we'll actually solve it before that happens. So anyways, 2s. Okay, so 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. We need this guy. So no help, no help. No 2s across the top and no help. So here's 6 2s. I think this is now the worst we've written. 6 of the same number. That's rough. Okay. There we go. Good. 2s. All right, on to 3s, because we've solved all the 2s as much as we can. So 3s now. So up here, 3s cannot be across the top, they cannot be across the middle, and they cannot be up the middle. So that just leaves these 2. So I'm going to write these 3s in. Good. Okay, so there's 3s for the whole top. The middle is already done for 3s. How about the bottom? Bottom's going to be kind of rough. So no 3s on the right, no 3s down the middle. That just leaves these 2. There we go. And then on to this one, no 3s down the middle, no help from these guys or this guy. So just no 3s down the middle. So we got to write 5 3s in here. Ay, ay, ay. There we go. And then this last one over here for 3s. No 3s on the left, no 3s on the right. No help from these 2, so these 2 can be 3. Now, we can look at this big row and see if we have the same situation with the 3s that we had with the 2s up here. Remember, we could only have 2s on the top and the bottom, only have 2s on the top and the bottom. Therefore, the middle has to be in here. We need a 2 in the middle somewhere, so it's going to be that one. But down here, we have 3s on the top, we have 3s in all 3, and we have 3s on the bottom, 2. Top 2, bottom 2, all 3. Nothing is matching, so we can't get rid of them. If these 2 3s, let's just pretend this was 6 and the 2 3s were down here, then we could say, hey, 3s can only be on the middle and the bottom here, and they can only be on the middle and the bottom here, therefore they have to be on the top here. But that's not true. They don't line up, so we can't use that. This is the only example of that rule that we've seen so far. Good. Okay, it looks like 3s are done, so let's move on to 4s. Okay, 4s. Oh man, is there only 1 4? No, there's 2 4s. This is going to be rough though. No 4s across the top, no 4s down the left. So that leaves these. That's like an upside down L. So normally it would leave 4, but the 1 is already solved, so it just leaves those 3 as choices. Over here, no 4s across the top. No help from these or this one. So these 2 are just 4s. Now it's cool that the total bottom row is solved because, as you know, that means 4s are only in the middle. And because they're only in the middle here, they cannot be in the middle here or here. So now I literally get to erase these 4s. Now, this puts us on rule number 3. If a number can only be in one cell in a row, a column, or a big box, then it goes there. This is the only place 4 can go. Can't go across the top, Can't go across the middle because of these two. And it cannot be on the left because of this guy. That one's already solved. This is 4. That's great. Okay. So that's cool. At least we got one. I thought 4 was going to be, I mean, it's going to get worse. Don't get me wrong, but we solved one. So that's good. Okay. Let's move on to this one here. So no 4s across the top. We don't get any help from these other 3 boxes. Therefore, 4s can be anywhere in these bottom 2 rows. So that leaves us these 4 cells with 4s in them. Okay. How about over here? Nothing across the top, nothing down the middle. That's like a T. So that leaves 4 options, but one of them is already solved with the 3. Therefore, those 3 are the only possibilities for 4. How about down here? No help, no help. So they can just go everywhere. There's no help from here at all. So I'm just going to write 4s in everywhere. Now let's look at the 4s in this big column. 4 cannot be on the right and the left in this big box. It can be in all 3 here, but it can only be on the right and the left in this big box. Can't be in the middle here, can't be in the middle here, therefore it has to be in the middle here. That means this is 4. That's rule number 8. We're not going to do it yet, because writing all these numbers down and seeing all these different things is good for us. But we've already solved 2 and 4, so this puzzle's coming together, which is great. Okay, on to this one over here. No 4s on the left, no 4s on the right, no help from these 2. So it's just the bottom 2 down the middle because the 9 is already solved. So there we go. Those are the 4s there. How about over here? No help from here. We got a 4 there, so nothing down the middle. No help, nothing down the middle. So that just leaves these 3, because luckily some of these other numbers are already solved. So that just leaves 4 3s as possibilities. Sorry, 3 4s as possibilities. Good. So that takes care of 4. So let's go on to 5 now. Number 5. Okay. How about here? No 5s down here. No 5s across the bottom. That leaves these 4. But it's like an L, so it leaves those 4. But 3 of them are already solved. Therefore, this is the only place 5 can go. And because that's true, it is 5. That's the only spot. No 5s down the left, no 5s across the bottom. That's the only choice. So that is 5. That's awesome. How about this guy? No 5s across the bottom because of this one. No 5s across the middle because of this one. These 2 can't be 5, so that just leaves that. And because that's the only choice for 5, it is 5. Nice. The entire bottom is solved for 5s. That's cool. Okay, nothing down the left, nothing up the middle, nothing across the bottom, so that leaves these 2. So let me get these written in. Now, of course, we can say, hey, 5s are only on the right. Therefore, they can't be on the right here and here. That's totally true. It's already solved, so it doesn't help us, but cool. We saw it at least. How about over to this one? No 5s across the bottom, no 5s up the middle. That's an upside down T. So that leaves these 4. That one's already solved, so there's just 3 spots a 5 can go in. There we go. Good. Okay, so 5 is done for the bottom 2 big rows. How about this top one up here? We'll start over here. No 5s on the right, no 5s up the middle, no 5s across the bottom. That just leaves these 2 as possibilities. How about this guy? No 5s up the middle, no 5s across the bottom. That's an upside down T. So it leaves these 4 as possibilities for a 5. Good. So 5s are done. That's great. 6s are already completely solved. There's nowhere to write any 6s. That's great. 6s are done. So on to 7s. 7s are going to be pretty rough, unfortunately. let's start over here. So no 7s across the top, no 7s up the middle, so that's a T. So these 4 are possibilities. The 3 is already solved. So there's that. Those are the only 3 spots. 7 can go in there. How about here? Nothing across the top, nothing down the middle. Once again, that's a T. So these 4 are the only places a 7 can go. 7 is going to get rough here. We got a lot of them. How about up here? No 7s up the middle, no help from either of these. So every open box could be a 7. So there we go. How about up here? No 7s up the middle, no help from those at all are down here. So every open box except for up the middle could be a 7. So that's 5 different places. Excuse me. Okay. How about here? We haven't done this one yet. No 7s across the top. So that just leaves these 3. That's not too bad. So that's cool. How about this guy? No 7s across the top. No help from these 2. Just across the tops are only help. So 7s can go in all 4 of these. Okay. How about this guy? No help, no help, no help, no help. 7 can just go everywhere that's empty. So that's these 5 boxes. Okay. Good. So 7s are done. All right. How about 8s? So let's start over here. No 8s on the right, no 8s in the middle. That only leaves 8s on the left as possibilities. Good. And of course you noticed, hey, 8s are only on the left. Therefore they can't be on the left here and they can't be on the left here. It doesn't help us because these are already solved, but it's cool we noticed. Good. So 8s are done here. Boy, 8s are going to be rough too. How about here? No help, no help, no help. But 8s can't be across the bottom because of that one. So all 5 of these can be 8s. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, good. I think 6 is still our record though. 8's in here. No help, no help, no help, no help. So just these 2. And I do want to point out, in this big box, there are 2 cells that have the same 2 options. 8 and 2, 8 and 2. Now, it's too early to talk about this because we haven't written in all the numbers, but I noticed that 9 is already solved here. So I know 9 can't go in either of those because it's right there. So this is 2 cells, 2 options in this big box. If these others weren't solved except for the 9, we could erase the 8 2s everywhere else. But I just want to point out, 2 cells, 2 options. Cool. That's a big important rule for us. That'll help us solve a lot of puzzles, being able to spot those. Okay, 8's down here. No help, no help, no help. We get help here, but it's not a lot of help because all it says is nothing across the top, and the top is solved. So here we're going to tie for the worst. We're going to write 6 8s. Oh, man. Good. Okay, we've got them written in. Now over to this one. No 8s across the bottom. No help, no help, no help. So these 3 could be 8. That's interesting. It's all by itself. We haven't written 9s yet. I'm just noticing that one's already solved. So after we write everything, we'll tear into those. But yeah, that's good. Okay, so how about 8s here? No help, no help. No help, no help. Oh, man. 7. We've got to write 7 8s. This is our new record for this puzzle, I think. That is a ton of 8s. All right, how about down here? No 8s across the top. No help, no help, no help. So that leaves these 3. There we go. Okay, good. So 8s are done. Let's talk about 9s now. Let's start over here. No 9s on the left, no 9s in the middle, no 9s across the middle, no help coming from here. So that means these two can be 9s. Okay, good. How about, so that one's done, that one's done, that one's done, that one's done. How about this one? No 9s on the left, no 9s up the middle, no 9s on the bottom, no help from here. So that leaves these two as possible 9s. So that's good. Okay. How about this guy here? No 9s across the middle, no 9s up the middle. So that leaves the 4 corners. 2 of the corners are already solved. So that puts these two 9s here. And of course, you notice, hey, 9s can only be on the left here. Therefore, they cannot be on the left here or here. Doesn't matter here because it's already solved, but it matters here. 9 cannot be in these two boxes because we know it's one of these two. It has to be on the left here, so it can't be on the left here. So no 9s, no 9s, no help, no 9s across the bottom. So that leaves these two as 9. Good. So I think the 9s are done now. So the funnest part, of course, is looking for the cells that have only one number in them. Now that we've written all the numbers in, we can look at the ones that only have one number and just make them that number. And that is rule. What rule is that? After all numbers are done, if a cell only has one choice, then that's the answer. Rule number 5. So I'm going to erase this 7, and I'm going to throw the 7 there. Now, we got to do some cleanup so we don't forget, right? This big box, 7 has been solved, so we got to get rid of the other 7s in here. So that one can go, that one can go, and that one can go. Now, this big column, 7 has been solved. Sorry, not big column, this normal column. 7 has been solved in this column. Therefore, we can get rid of all the 7s that are also in here. This 7 can go, and this 7 can go. Now, this big row, right? We can get rid of the 7s there. Okay, so that was good. Now, of course, we notice, oh my gosh, first off, there's a 3 by itself, so we know it's a 3. That's the only choice. But also, we get, hey, what is going on? Come on, kitties, come on. Cats went crazy, sorry. They didn't want us solving the puzzle. All right, good. So, also, this entire row is solved except for one cell. We literally could not have anything written there and we would know what that is because it has to be the missing number, right? It has to be a 3. So we double know that that's a 3. Good. Okay, so we did the 3. So first off, we got to get rid of all the 3s in here. Wow, there are no other 3s in there to get rid of. That's weird. Okay, no 3s to get rid of there. How about across? Nope, no 3s to get rid of across because the whole thing is solved. How about up and down? Yeah, we got a couple 3s down here we can get rid of. So that's good. This cleanup is so important. Every number you solve, check the big box it's in, check the row it's in, and check the column it's in. Every single time. Cleanup is so important. Okay, here's a lone 7. Let's go ahead and make it a 7. It's the only choice. So this is 7. Now we got to do cleanup. Let's start with the big box. Let's get rid of all the 7s. Good. Now let's do the row. Any 7s we can get rid of in this top row? Yes, there are. There's a 7. We already solved it, so we can get rid of it. There we go. How about this column? Yeah, here's a 7. Let's get rid of it. Already solved. Good. Okay, so cleanup's done for that 7. That's good. Got any other numbers by themselves? How about that 2 right there? That's great. Let's get rid of that 2. That means it is a 2 because it was all by itself. So now let's do some cleanup. Let's get rid of this 2 here. That's all the 2's in the big box. What about in this row here? Yeah, there's some 2's we can get rid of because we solved it. There's 1. There's 1. Okay, got rid of those. How about this whole column? No. Now this is another example. First off, we have a 4 by itself, so we know it's a 4. But also, this entire column is solved except for one cell. Even if 4 wasn't written there, we would know it's a 4 because it's the only number missing. So this is 4. Good. Let's do some cleanup. Let's get all the 4's out of the big box because we solved it. Good. All the 4's out of the column. No need. The column is done. All the 4's out of the row. There we go. Good. Okay, so that's cool. Now, any other lone numbers? Oh, there's an 8. Before we take care of this 8, I want to show you guys just this row. Focus on this row only. This row has 987, 82, 82, 98. We have 2 cells, 2 options. 82, 82. If this is 8, this is 2. If this is 2, this is 8. There are no other choices for these 2 cells. They are 8 and 2, period. We don't know which one the 8 and the 2 are going to end up in, but they are 8 and 2. 8 and 2 is solved in this row. Therefore, we can get rid of the 8's and 2's in the other cells. I can erase this because of this 8-2. I can erase this because of this 8-2. 2 cells, 2 options. It's a very powerful, cool thing. Now, we didn't really need to go that far this time because this 8's by itself, so that's obviously 2, so that's obviously an 8. But I wanted you to see it in action. 8-2, 8-2, okay? Good. So, anyways, this 8's by itself, so we can erase it. We can make this an 8. Now, to clean up the big box, we can get rid of the 8 out of here because we already solved the 8 in this big box. How about this column? We can get rid of all of these 8's because we already solved it in this column. There we go. Good. How about the row? We can get rid of all the 8's in the row because we solved it. Man, we had a lot of 8's. I think we're going to solve this puzzle just with rule number 3 by itself. Good. Okay, so we got rid of all that. All the cleanup is done. Do we have any numbers by themselves? Yes, we do. Here's a 2. Therefore, it is 2. Clean up in the big box, nothing to do because the whole thing's solved. Clean up in the row, yes, there's a 2 here, so we can get rid of it. Clean up in the column, yeah, there's lots of 2's to get rid of now that we solved it. So we'll get rid of all of these. Good. There we go. Okay, 2's cleaned up. What else we got? We got an 8 over here. Let's get rid of it. It's all by itself, so it has to be 8. There it is. Let's clean up the big box. We've got some 8's we can get rid of here. Good. Let's clean up the whole column. Here's an 8 to get rid of. Let's clean up the whole row. Nothing to get rid of there, so that's good. Good. Cleanup is done. Here's a 9 by itself. Therefore, it is 9. Let's throw the 9 there. Now we can do some cleanup. Here's a 9 in the big box. Now the big box is done. How about the big column? No more 9's to get rid of. How about the big row? Yep, here's a 9 to get rid of. Good. That leaves 7 by itself. Obviously, it's also the last number. The last cell, I mean. So it's definitely 7. No questions there. Good. Let's do some cleanup, starting with the big box. And then we'll move on to the big to the column. Good, and we'll move on to the row, which is already done. Good. Now there's a 5 by itself. Let's go ahead and do that 5. That means we can get rid of these 5s. It also means we can get rid of these 5s. Good. And what about this way? Yep, there's a 5. Yeah, this puzzle is crumbling before us. That's great. Okay, good. Moving on. Here's an 8. Let's get it done. 8. Any 8s to erase? Any 8s to erase? Any 8s to erase? Nope, that's done. How about that 9? Any 9s in the big box? No. Any 9s in there? No. Any 9s there? No. Good, so that's done. Let's move over to here. Here's a 2. I sped up a little bit. Sorry, we got a lot of these. Any 2s in here? No. Any 2s in here? No. Any 2s in here? No. How about this 1? Here's a 1. Okay. Any 1s in here? Yes. Any 1s in the column? Yes. Any 1s in the row? No. Good. Okay. So cleanup is done. The 1s are done. Let's do this 5. Any 5s in here? No. Any 5s here? No. Any 5s here? No. Good. Let's move on to this 4. Any 4s in here? Yep, there's a 4. Any 4s here? Yes, there's a 4. Good. 4s, no, no, no. Good. Do want to just point out, in this far column, 8, 1, 8, 1. We have 2 cells, 2 options. Therefore, we could get rid of the 8 1s in every other cell in this column. Now, they're all solved, so it doesn't matter. But 2 cells, 2 options right there. Very powerful. Good. Let's get rid of this 7 because it's by itself. Any 7s? No. Any 7s? No. Any 7s? No. Let's get on to this one here. It's a 4. All right, any 4s in here? Yes, that just leaves 8, 1. Good. Any 4s this way? Yeah, here's a 4. Good. Any 4s this way? No. And I want to point out here too, when we talk about 2 cells, 2 options, you can also have 3 cells, 3 options, right? So we have 8, 2, 1, 8, 2, 1, 8, 1. 3 cells, 3 options. We can't just say, hey, 8, 2, 8, 2, let's get rid of those 1s. The reason we can't do that is because there's an 8 down here. We don't have 8 and 2 all by itself up here. But that's 3 options, 3. And same thing within the big box, 8, 2, 1, 8, 2, 1, 8, 1. So that's cool. All right, there's a 3 here by itself. Let's work on it. So here goes the 3. Any 3s in here? No. 3s here? No. 3s across here? Yeah, there's 1. We'll get rid of this one. That's good. Everything we get rid of helps. It always helps in some way. Here's the 3 over here. Let's get rid of that. Go ahead and put the 3 here. Any 3s in here? Yeah, here's 1. Any 3s this way? No. Any 3s this way? No. So now we got this 4 by itself. So that goes there. We can get rid of these. Okay, good. So that leaves 7, 2, 7, 2. 2 cells, 2 options. And they're both within this big box. Therefore, we could get rid of all the 7 2s in these other cells. Doesn't matter because they're already solved. But also, they're both in the same row or column. So that's cool. So we can get rid of all the 7 2s in this column. There's no 7 2s here, so there's nothing to erase. But we still could have done that if there were 7 2s to erase. All right, moving on. Here's a 9 by itself. Let's go ahead and get it done. Good. We can erase the 9s in here. We can erase the 9s across here. Any 9s in this big one? No. Okay, good. So that was good. How about this 4? Let's get rid of that. Good. So this is 4. We can erase the 4s in here. Good. We can erase the 4s here. Nothing. We can erase the 4s across here. Nothing. Okay. Now look at this. We don't necessarily need to do this because we have this 2 by itself, but I want to show you. 8, 2, 8, 2, 1, 8, 1. This is 3 cells, 3 options. 8, 2, and 1. We have at least 2 options of each one. So 8, 2, and 1 have to be here. If this is 8, this is 1, this is 2. If this is 2, then this is 8, 1, and this is 8, 1, which is 2 options, 2 cells. So these 3 are solved. They are 8, 2, and 1. Therefore, we can erase all the 8, 2s, and 1s in this row that aren't in these 3 cells, which means this one. That 8 can go because 8, 2, 1 is already solved. Oh, and this 2 can go. I'm sorry. That 2 can go. 8, 2, 1 is already solved. Now, it didn't really matter because this 2 is by itself, so this is 2, so of course we can erase that 2. You know what I mean. But I wanted to point out 8, 2, 1 is 3 options, 3 cells. There. Okay, so now let's do some cleanup. Let's get rid of this 2 here. Let's get rid of this 2 here. And what about here? Yeah, here's a couple 2s we can get rid of. Good. Okay. So up here, we've got 5, 1, 8, 5, 8, 1. That is 3 cells, 3 options. We have 2 8s, 2 5s, and 2 1s. 8, 5, and 1 is solved in this row. We don't know exactly where they go, but they're going to be between these 3. Unfortunately, we can't erase any 8, 5s, and 1s from these because they're already solved. But down here was a good example of it, so that's cool. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this because it's by itself. So it's 8. This is 5. Oh, sorry, I went fast there. I could have erased that 8. It would have left the 5 by itself. No 8s here. Here's a couple 8s we can get rid of. Good. There we go. That left 5 by itself, so I solved 5. So now we can erase the 5s in here. We can erase the 5s here, and we can erase the 5s here. So that's good. So now this 7's by itself. So this goes here. We get rid of the 7's in here. We get rid of the 7's here. Good. And the 7's across there. Okay, good. So that's it for that. Good. Now on, and I do want to point out, when we have 2 options, 2 cells, and everything else is solved, this is a dead end. We will never solve this going this way. We will solve it going this way, but we can't solve it this way. This is as far as it gets. Same thing with here. 8, 1, 8, 1, and everything else is solved. This could be 8 or this could be 8. This could be 1 or this could be 1, right? It's one of the two. The only way we're going to solve this is by solving this guy over here, which we will do because they're not in the same row like that. Yeah, but 2 options, 2 cells, 2 options, 2 cells, 2 options, 2 cells. It's very cool. Here's 2 options, 2 cells, 3 options, 3 cells. These other ones aren't quite there, right? This isn't 2 options, 2 cells because this is obviously 1 and this is obviously 5. Good. 1's by itself. I'm going to solve it. That means I can get rid of these other ones. That's that. That's that. That is that. Good. This is 5 because it's all by itself. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Good. Here's a 9 by itself. Let's take care of that. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Here's an 8 by itself. Let's take care of that. Let's get rid of these extra 8s. Here's 1. Yeah, see, the minute we made that a 1, now that's an 8, which means that's a 1, which means that's an 8. Yeah, good. Okay, so we got that. So that leaves this 1 by itself. So let's go ahead and make this a 1. Then we can clean this up. That gets rid of that. Let's get rid of that. That's it for that. This is a 2, obviously. Wow, the 2 big top rows are done, so that's cool. So now we'll just focus over here. This is 8, because it's all that's left. Here's an 8 to get rid of. Good. This is 1, because it's all by itself. Here's a 1 to get rid of. Moving on, here's a 7 by itself. So this is 7. Do some cleanup. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay. This 3 is by itself, so it is 3. No real cleanup for that because we're so done. Here's a 1 by itself. Once again, no real cleanup. Here's an 8 by itself. No real cleanup to do. Here's a 2 by itself. This will have some cleanup. We can get rid of this, and we can get rid of this. That makes this 7. No cleanup for that. That makes that 4. So we can get rid of that. 2 by itself. That's 2. Awesome. We did it. Okay, puzzle number 4. Let me know if it's wrong, of course. And obviously you can double check if you don't have the back of the book, which you do because you've bought the book. But if you had a puzzle that you didn't have the solution for, you can just count through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And just do that in every row. Make sure that all 9 numbers are in every row. Then make sure all 9 numbers are in every column. And then make sure all 9 numbers are in every big box. And if you count to 9 all of those times, 27 times, then it's right. There's no duplicates. Because if there was a problem, you'd be like 1, 2, 2. Whoa, right? Or you'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. Where's the 9? You know, you would have made a mistake somewhere. Good, we did it. So that rule number 8, we're going to get to real soon. And it was just the idea that if 2 can be in the top and the bottom in this, and it can be in the top and the bottom in this, only, then it has to be in the middle here. If it can't be in the middle here, and it can't be in the middle here, it has to be in the middle here. Good. Okay. You guys have a great day. And we'll see you in number 5 coming up.